Ndugu watazamaji na wasikilizaji wapendwa, tuko mtaa wa Highgate, kaskazini ya London, nyumbani kwa balozi wetu Uingereza, Mheshimiwa Peter Kallaghe. Madhumuni ya kuwa hapa ni kumuaga balozi mpya wa Uingereza Tanzania, Mheshimiwa Dianna Melrose, akielekea Tanzania, na vile vile kumkaribisha kwa chakula cha jioni. Miongoni mwa wageni waalikwa mabalozi toka Rwanda na Cameroon, mabalozi wastaafu na wanachama wa Jumuiya ya Tanzania na Uingereza, pamoja na baadhi ya Watanzania. Hebu tumsikilize Mheshimiwa Balozi Dianna Melrose akiongea.
I was very lucky as a child to have a bit of an international perspective. And you know, nimezaliwa Zimbabwe. Wakati wa baba yangu alifanya kazi huko Zimbabwe. I think I'm very, very lucky to have been chosen to go to Tanzania, because there's a lot of competition amongst British ambassadors to go there. Because the Tanzanian people I've met are incredibly friendly, very warm, very generous. And I'm really struck that the British people I know who've been to Tanzania leave with a very, very special place in their heart for Tanzania.
Chakula cha leo ni cha Kitanzania. Chakula hiki chenye mseto wa ubwabwa wa nazi, mtori, samaki na mboga mbalimbali za majani kimeandaliwa na wapishi watatu wakiongozwa na Mtanzania Marco Chongwe.
On behalf of Joyce, my wife, and myself,
sasa ni zamu ya Mheshimiwa balozi wetu Peter Kallaghe.
Thank you all for accepting our invitation to be with us this evening. I'd like to recognize my brothers from Africa, the commission from Cameroon, who's a senior diplomat, who has received me here in London and has led me. Ambassador Kallaghe, thank you very much for accepting the invitation. We have Ernest Wichumo is from Rwanda. He's a colleague from East Africa, so I thought it is pertinent for you, Diana, to meet somebody who's from a region, East Africa. I also want to thank Anthony and Claire, who were our colleagues in Canada. We were together in Canada, we had a very nice time. And this is an opportunity for us to welcome them to our house and to thank them for their friendship.
I think that the relationship between Britain and Tanzania is very close and very positive, and it covers so many different areas. You know, Britain is the biggest investor in Tanzania. We have a large development cooperation program, but the linkages go much wider than that. You know, people-to-people contacts, tourists who come, because Tanzania is such a beautiful country, and I'm sure there'll be more and more British people that want to go. The Commonwealth, well, there's something that we're part of one family, and that I think is very, very important. There's so much we can do together in terms of sporting links, you know, cultural links, you name it, there's so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of our meeting today primarily is to congratulate Diana and for her appointment as the next British High Commissioner to Tanzania. I'd like to once again congratulate you, and on behalf of all my colleagues, all the officials in government and the people of Tanzania, to give you sort of a welcome to Tanzania. I just talked with the officials in the ministry, and they're waiting for you. And as soon as you arrive, I guess to facilitate your meeting with the president and to get you ready, moving.
I think it's great that there are a lot of Tanzanians who have studied in Britain, and those links are kept. And I mean, I've just been meeting Tanzanians who are working here in the UK, and it all creates those close links and better understanding of the two different countries. In everything I've ever done has been in my Oxfam days and before very much part of the anti-apartheid struggle, you know, in solidarity with the people of Africa. And I know that Tanzania, Mwalimu had a very, very special role in those times in supporting you know, brothers, sisters in countries in frontline Africa. Well, I was very lucky. I was taught Swahili by a Wapemba, and I took an exam a couple of months ago. But the trouble is I haven't been speaking Swahili recently, and I'm really wanting to get to Tanzania quickly so that I can build on what I know, because I'm very ashamed that it isn't that I don't speak more than I do.
When you get to Tanzania, you will find a society which is extremely dynamic. And the role of envoys from countries like yours are extremely critical, especially at this time when Tanzania, in particular, we're discussing and we're deliberating about the new constitution, a constitution that we believe will lead us in the next 50 years. So you're going to Tanzania at a time when there are many challenges. We're dealing with them as best as we can, with the little resources that we can. But I think Tanzania, as you probably know, is a country that we've been blessed with, you know, with peace, with national unity, and we hope we can continue with that path.
I'm very, very grateful to the High Commissioner and to Bibi Joyce for hosting this lovely dinner and giving me the opportunity to meet such fascinating people and to renew a friendship with some very new friends. I feel myself very, very privileged to be going to Tanzania. Privileged in many ways. The Tanzanians that I've met have been so friendly, so welcoming, such kind and generous people that I know I'm going to have a wonderful time. I know that because of my compatriots in this country, the people, and there's three of you round the table, who have spent time in Tanzania, seems to me have left with a deep love that I haven't found in terms of British people who've lived in other countries, quite the affection and long-standing links. I feel very fortunate that, as you've said, Tanzania is moving forward, a country of huge potential and a country whose relationship for us is very, very important, as you said, the biggest investor, important development partners, and we very much value our relationship with Tanzania. I feel fortunate too, because when my predecessor, Diane Corner, met President Kikwete, he said, well, now I think we're at an all-time high in our bilateral relations, and I'm sure that it's because of you in London, and I hope that, and what we do in Tanzania, the relationship with your government, but certainly my objective is to strengthen those links, to build on them, to build on everything you've done, and I know that our ministers really value that friendship. And so, lucky me, and thank you very much. What do I want to do? Everything I can to deepen the friendship between Tanzania and Britain, and to build for the future, to find ways of helping promote inclusive development in Tanzania. And working on so many issues that we both care about, whether it's things like climate change that threaten the livelihoods of so many people in Tanzania and other countries in the world. There's so much potential.
I think she'll be excellent. I had a quick look at her curriculum vitae, and she has great experience, not only in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, but she also has worked for DFID and dealt with a number of complex issues like mining regulations. And before she joined that, she was working for Oxfam for over 15 years. So she has a great deal of experience. And the fact that she comes from Cuba is going to be very interesting, because I think Cuba has a lot that we can all learn from.
Kwa kweli Balozi Kallaghe ameandaa shughuli nzuri, amechukua watu mbalimbali kutoka kwenye ubalozi wa Tanzania tuliopo hapa wachache, pamoja na Waingereza ambao walishafanya kazi Tanzania miaka ya nyuma, kuja kukutana na Balozi Dianna Melrose. Kwa kweli kuzungumza na balozi hapa inaonekana ameshajiandaa kweli kwenda Tanzania, anaifahamu Tanzania vizuri, na kweli ana mtazamo wa kwenda Tanzania kusaidia Tanzania kuiunganisha vizuri na Uingereza.
Well, when I leave Tanzania, I don't want to think about that. I'd rather focus on being there. But I hope that what people will feel is here's somebody who really tried to understand Tanzania, who brought a very human touch to their job, who really helped promote more friendship, more cooperation, and some very concrete things that we could do together. And I'm thinking of, you know, Tanzania's gas wealth. There's British companies that are going to be large investors, and just thinking of the potential of what that could do and how the Tanzanian people could seize that wealth to achieve so much for Tanzania, for themselves. So I'm just thinking of strengthening investment, trade in both directions. There's so many things. And one of the roles I'll have is as the UK representative on to the East African community. And I hope that together, Tanzania and Britain can work together to do what we can to promote stability and peace and prosperity in the wider region. Thank you so much. Thank you.
In your mission in Dar es Salaam. Ladies and gentlemen, cheers. All the best.
Tunamtakia balozi mpya wa Uingereza Tanzania, Dianna Melrose, kila la kheri katika kukuza mahusiano kati ya mataifa yetu mawili. Mungu ibariki Tanzania, Mungu ibariki Afrika, Mungu ibariki Uingereza.